Good morning, Modern Steaders. It is another nice, beautiful day. We have gotten a lot of work done here on our shiplap ceiling. We got the hallway all done. I made one boo-boo there. I gotta fix that. I got a little board we gotta put right there. This is all done. All the Swiss cheese holes are the holes for all of our lights, and we have just this side left. And then we have one more set of lights going that way. So we should be able to get that all done today, and then I can get a fresh coat of paint on there. So if you guys have missed it, what we did is we painted all these boards down. Let's see, one's right here. We spot primed all the knots with a Zim primer. It's a shellac so that the knots aren't supposed to leak through. I think they're going to still a little bit, but we'll find out. We did 2 coats of that, 1 coat of regular primer, and we got all the edges. And then we did 1 coat of paint on all of it and the edges. So this way, where there's a gap, you'll just see the white paint. So it looks nice. It's got that rustic farmhouse feel. It's been a lot of work, a lot of labor, but man, it is going to be worth it. I can't wait to see what it looks like with the lights installed. All right, last piece. Let's test it. So that here, we can just do a little tap. Yeah. So let's glue it as well. Now your ceiling's done.
That was hard work.
Look at all the hard work you did.
All that hard work I did.
I just gotta drill out one more set of holes.
Oh yeah, right here. Okay, now the hard work's getting back down.
Junk.
No.
Come on. 63 1/16. 4.5. 4.5. All right, before we glue it, let's test fit. Like a glove.
Now you have to take it all back down and do it again.
Yep. but I'd rather have to take it back down with no glue than have to take it back down and have it all gooped up and then cut something. Yeah, don't do it. Ew. There we go. Official.
The official. Looks good. So when we first started our first couple boards putting it on the ceiling, we were like, oh, did we make the right decision? We'd already bought the boards, we put the primer and the paint, all that on it, so we were invested. But as we kept going and seeing what it looked like, because it's not perfect, but we think the imperfections make it. So, but at first it was like, oh, did we make the right decision? But we really do like it. Once we get that last coat of paint on, it's gonna look really good. So it looks good. We're excited. I'm excited I didn't have to do ladder work because it would have took us a long time because I am very nervous. Like I can be on the ladder, but I have to be like really touching. Like I can't be swinging back and doing all this stuff like Al and his dad do. That's for sure nothing I can do at this moment in my life. There's no way in heck that I could stand on a ladder that direction for sure. My leg's twisted. I have to be forward facing, having it in front of me, or no go. So I think it still looks really good. Unfortunately, we do have to do another coat. Hoping it still looks as nice with a second coat that leaves all the cracks and everything. You think it will?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we got all the outdoor work that we need for right now. That feels good. We got the final coat of paint on in the ceiling for the hallway, kitchen, and living room. I still need to put the boards up in the pantry But I wanted to get this painted first so it had a good time amount to dry. So after we get the pantry done, we can come right out here and stop putting the lights in, or maybe do the lights first and then the pantry. I wanted to take a ride up to the pond, and I was just thinking with that rain we got, the ground's gonna be a little soft, and there's a few spots in the road that we need to fix up that got kind of rutted up this past winter with all the logging, and I haven't had time to do it, and then the ground got hard. So I think we'll take the tractor for a ride, go check out the pond, and fix the road on the way up. While I'm driving around, I'm always looking at the side of the road and thinking what we can do in the different areas, like the pigs we can run. Oh, we can have lots of pigs here, and then cows and sheep, the food we can raise. I can't wait. All right, this is the area we need to do some grading on. All right, not sure if that was a good idea or a bad idea. It's kind of muddy, but I think it should be better. We'll hit it one more time on the way back out. We can't hit it too much because it's too muddy, but if you let it dry too much, it's too much like concrete and it doesn't drag. So you kind of got to wait for an in-between. I'm curious if we can see any of the fish that we put in the other day. The water is definitely not clear, which is a good thing. And I'm also not seeing all the tadpoles I was seeing the other day. So I'm thinking the trout have been eating good. Just missed it. One just jumped right there and ate a mosquito.
As our molding to put off on our ceiling, and then that part will be done, and then we have the ceiling in the pantry, and then the ceiling for the main living area will be complete. going on pretty quickly. It's almost all up in the main part, and then we got the hallway, and then start working on the pantry ceiling, I think. But that should go fairly quickly because we don't have to get super fancy or anything in there.
Last piece that we can do in the hallway for now. We have one more piece, but we can't do that until we trim off the other wall. And we gotta trim that off with some pine boards that we don't have.
Can't finish this piece until we trim out up here. Everything else looks good. It's gonna look crazy good when the lights are in.
I know. It's gonna be so cool once we have some lights.
So I eventually wanted to take the rocks, some of the rocks, and like go around and put some flowers around them. And then I keep seeing this one and think, oh, I should clean that, try to get that dirt off. But then I have some phlox that I haven't used yet, and I thought they like to grow on rocks and they don't need to have a shallow root system. So I'm going to try to grow some on this rock.
Alright, last piece. I like that right there, that fits perfect.
I'll see how those do. They have plenty of soil on this rock and stuff's growing, so other things can grow.
All right, I'm gonna get here in the pantry and measure the length of our boards. I'm gonna try to get all of them cut so that we can get all of the ceiling installed and be done with the ceiling. It'll be nice to be able to get the lights installed, but before I do that out here, we need to get in there done. All right, I just took a few measurements, did some quick math. We're gonna need 45 pieces cut at 41 inches long. I think we should have enough lumber to do that. All right, it's been a few hours, but I got the stairway ceiling all shiplapped. I got the trim up on the edges, and then I got everything done in the ceiling. I put the lights up and the quarter-round molding. Today is an exciting day for us. We had to get our meat birds out on pasture. I would have liked to get them out on pasture a week ago, but we got a bunch of rain last week. And with meat birds, especially when they're young, what kills them is cold and water. And right now, we're still chilly at night. If they would have got wet, that's a bad recipe. But if you get them wet and then it gets cold at night, you'll end up losing a lot of birds. So I would have rather had to keep them inside and not had them eating grass for an extra week than lose a lot. So they all stayed inside, which I'm glad. You'll see them in a minute. They are nice and big, feathered out quite a bit for a meat bird. Meat birds, they always look like they're bald. That's just the nature of a meat bird. They're not meant to like have pretty feathers and a bunch of feathers. They're bred to put on a lot of weight and grow a lot of meat. So they're not the prettiest birds. But I came out here one night last week and I mowed this part of the pasture. I just did it quickly. It's not the prettiest, but it's perfect for what we need. But I just want to show you guys, if you guys have been around for a long time, you know we had this area logged and then we raked it, seeded it. We got a bunch of rain. It washed it all out. And I was pretty devastated. But man, it looks beautiful right now. It is so lush and green and thick. So it took us, I think this is the 3rd year, and the grass is coming in good. We haven't used any chemical fertilizers or anything. The only thing we've had out here are meat birds and pigs down lower. And look at this grass. It is so thick. It is coming in so good. So this is one of the reasons why we raise meat birds, is to help our pastures grow and to feed us delicious food. So by putting the meat birds out on pasture, it's really good for them. They get to eat the grass. They need that in their diet. They get to eat all the bugs. They need that in their diet. And in return, we get to eat some really good, high quality meat that is hard to find. There are people out there that are raising it and selling it, so you can go buy it somewhere, but it's expensive. And there's a reason it's expensive. There's a lot of labor and love that goes into it, but the meat's delicious. The birds are never happier, and we get to fertilize our pastures. I really wish we were doing this year up at the new property, but with us not living there, I don't dare have the meat birds out right now because we're gonna have a lot of predators up there. And I wanna eat these meat birds. I don't want the predators eating them. Those meat birds are looking so good. That's probably about all the feathers they're gonna get. So I'll probably see it in comments. How come your birds don't have feathers? Meat birds are that way. They are, that's what they're raised for. They're not raised for anything else but to grow meat. So it's kind of nice that they're ugly too, because when it comes to processing time, it makes it a little easier. I just stand back and look, and the vision that we had for this property is starting to come together. But unfortunately, we won't be the ones to take it to the next phase. I hope, or I would really like the next person who takes this property. Well, this is what I was thinking when we did all the logging and everything. This was all logged for pasture, which is coming in beautiful now. The greenhouse is right there near the house. Our outdoor kitchen, where we process all of our meat birds, pigs, can all of our vegetables, is right there by the house, so it's easy to get to. My goal was the bigger barn down there, this right side, where the two doors are that we'd never finished, was to make that stalls and then fence in this pasture and have the fence go right to those stall doors, and either have sheep over here or a dairy cow, or both. Have sheep and a dairy cow grazing this side of the pasture, and you can have the goats on the other side, or you could put the goats over here sometimes and the goat, whatever you wanted to do. But our goal was to get a dairy cow / sheep on this side of the property. So yeah, it's nice to see all of our hard work coming together, and it shows me that, hey, with the new property that we got, the fields, it's going to take a few years, and then they're going to be amazing and beautiful like this. So it's good to see your vision coming together, and it's also good to see how long it takes for stuff like this to come together. It's going to be sad to leave this place, but we're going to a bigger, more fun property for us for what we're doing. So we are excited to be moving, but it's also sad to be leaving. But it's nice to be seeing all of our plans that we had in our head starting to come together, and they did work. Because sometimes we think what we're doing is crazy, and when you have stuff that takes a little while, like a couple of years, to all fall together, it's kind of hard sometimes. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to share that. We gotta get water. I'm gonna show you what we did last year. I think it was last year. I'm always trying to improve our systems every year. This year, I think we're in a good spot here. Let me show you what we did last year that really helped our meat bird game. All right, so last year, I don't know why it was the first year I did it, but it was. I took an IBC tote, filled it with water, put it on our farm trailer, and I got a tote, or I got a poly cover that covers the IBC tote, so that way if you left your IBC tote like this, algae would grow in it. So if you put this over, it blocks the UV rays, so it can't grow algae. Don't know why this was the first year I did it, was last year, because I've had all this stuff sitting around. I just thought of it last year, like, oh hey, I should put this out here. And it worked perfectly. I fill this up once for every harvest, so this should be enough for those meat birds until we harvest this batch, and then when we bring out the other batch, I'll have to fill that up. So it's 275 gallons, and that took us through to harvest each batch last year, so that worked out really good.